1.4 million years ago, in the heart of the South Pacific, the deep sea stirrings of volcanoes and tectonic plates form the French Polynesian island of Tahiti. Situated halfway between California and Australia, planet Earth offers few places more remote and majestic than this. The islands of French Polynesia, including Tahiti, were discovered by the world's first long-distance navigators. These mariners, known as Austronesians, voyaged across perilous expanses of open ocean in double-hulled canoes, using only the sun and stars to guide them. Centuries later, European explorers arrived, and since 1880, the French tricolor has been billowing in the salty breezes across these islands. But it's the songs and stories of those early Polynesian wayfarers, passed from generation to generation, which have shaped the cultural rhythms of these lands. Tahiti's capital, Papeete, means water from a basket, as it was once the place where Tahitians filled their calabashes with fresh water. It remains a gathering place, but today, travelers and locals make the journey here to fill their baskets with so much more. There's no better way to experience the tradition of island trade than at Papeete Market, the city's oldest attraction. Breathe in the same aromas of manoi oil, vanilla beans, and tropical flowers, which intoxicated French painter Paul Gauguin when he first arrived in 1891. Just as Tahiti's volcanic soil yields some of the world's tastiest produce, her seas produce one of our planet's most mysterious and spellbinding gems. At the Robert Wan Pearl Museum, explore an unparalleled collection of Tahitian pearls. Learn about their cultural significance and be enthralled by the legends of their origin. Tahiti's emerald peaks have long beckoned passing sailors, and American author and World War I veteran James Norman Hall was no exception. Just east of Papeete, explore the writer's humble home and learn about the life and literary works of one of Tahiti's favorite adopted sons. A little further east, gaze up at one of the South Sea's oldest maritime lights, Point Venus Lighthouse, which has been welcoming weary vessels for over 150 years. The history of Point Venus goes back further than the lighthouse itself, as it was here that Captain Cook's Endeavour expedition measured the transit of Venus across the Sun in 1769, a calculation which changed the science of navigation forever. For the Endeavour's officers and crew, however, the cosmic spectacle paled in comparison to what the ship's naturalist, Joseph Banks, called the truest picture of an Arcadia that the imagination can form. And one can't fully experience this Arcadia without venturing inland. The island itself is an extinct volcano, and upon passing through its ring of peaks into the sunken caldera, you'll be transported to a realm unlike any other. Journey through dense jungle to hidden waterfalls, plunge into some of the planet's most cleansing waters, and feel the warm embrace of locals. Throughout millennia, stories, both historical and mythological, have woven themselves into the core of Tahiti's identity. In the commune of Puna'auia on the island's western coast, explore a treasure trove of tales at the Museum of Tahiti and its islands. To the south, feel the ancient energy of Arahurahu, a sacred temple, or marae, where according to ancient legend, the spirit of a slain warrior is said to linger among the ruins. After returning to your hotel, bask in the sweet-smelling evening breezes at Puna'auia's shoreline and soak up the golden magic of the sun slipping into the sea. Paradise on earth, the truest picture of Arcadia. Tahiti is all of these and more, so it's no surprise that her sister islands present even more idyllic adventures to embark on. Just under an hour's flight from Papeete is Bora Bora, the pearl of the Pacific. A haven for starry-eyed honeymooners, the island is dotted with luxurious five-star resorts which will cater to your every desire. Your days here will be spent lounging on your resort's private beach, exploring the crystal-clear lagoon on guided tours, and sipping on cocktails with a South Pacific sunset as your backdrop. For a shorter journey, catch the 30-minute ferry from Papeete, which crosses the Sea of the Moon to the island of Moorea, whose lush spires rise like a cathedral from the sea. A ring road follows the coastline around Moorea, so hire a car or even a bike to circumnavigate the 37-mile loop at your own pace. While on your loop, stop off at some of Moorea's most beautiful beaches. Spend a day on the shores of Temai Beach, alternating between basking in silky turquoise waters and lounging beneath tropical almond trees. After tasting this slice of vacation paradise, continue your quest to find the perfect beach with a picnic under the palms at Plage de Ta'ahiamanu. For a little more action, head to Tiahura Beach, where vendors offer kayak, stand-up paddleboard, and snorkeling gear hire on the shoreline. But to experience a completely different side of Moorea, take a tour of the lagoon. In this magic underwater world, encounter schools of tropical fish, graceful stingrays, and inquisitive black-tipped reef sharks. Back on dry land, discover how tropical fruits and vegetables found their way to the fertile soils of French Polynesia at the Moorea Tropical Garden. Taste papaya, first discovered by conquistadors in Central America, and vanilla, once grown only in Mexico, until green-fingered Tahitians learned the secret to hand-pollinating its orchid. At the Tiki Village Cultural Center, watch the skilled hands of locals practicing traditional crafts like Tahitian patchwork or tefaifai. Sample age-old recipes at the restaurant before witnessing some of the most exciting Polynesian legends performed in song and dance. an epic end to your tour of Morea, make your way inland. Venture along winding roads through lush rainforest and pineapple plantations to Marae Ti'irua, a crumbling open-air temple where archaeologists believe human sacrifices were once performed. Continue up the verdant slope of Mount Tohevea to the mesmerizing heights of Belvedere Lookout. Gaze out at the fertile Oponohu Valley, Morea's twin bays, and the towering spires of Mount Rotui. According to ancient myth, Hiro, god of thieves, was so taken with Rotui that he plotted to steal it. Luckily, the demigod Pai was warned and rushed to the mountain's defense, so Hiro only managed to take a small piece. Unlike Hiro, who tried to steal Mount Rotui, Tahiti and her islands will have no such trouble stealing your heart. Whether it's her spellbinding lagoons and peaks, her epic stories, or just the smile of her people, Tahiti's magic and charms render even the most guarded hearts defenseless. So come and surrender to paradise.
When the wildfires swept through here, I mean, they were devastating. The majority of these are pine trees. They're a monoplantation of pines. They have this really high resin content that's kept in the tree. So if you imagine fire and resin and oil, you literally turn these pines into piles of ashes very, very quickly. Nature has the solutions. Nature would look to repair that damage that's done. In some aspects, fire is part of nature. After a forest fire, you get the initial pioneering plants, the native species coming up through. If you think of an oak tree's root system, it's massive because they keep their energy below ground. They're able to regenerate quickly. For example, this is a Kermes oak, which is like an evergreen native oak. And this one is a holm oak. These were the two oaks that we planted today. It's that concept of planting what should be here. We're in Inofita, just outside of Athens in Greece. We're doing an oak restoration project and we're planting 2,000 trees with quite a diverse mix because that's how nature would plant. Different species of oak. The Kermes oak, Valonia oak, and also Cecil oak, combining that supporting cast of 1,000 other saplings. If we left this ground through ecological succession, what would be here in a couple of 100 years' time? You never see monoplantations in nature. Nature plants diversely to create resilience, kind of tools really to get out of sticky situations like forest fires. oak trees. It's kind of the roots to ancient Greece, and the history, sacredness, the mysticism. Ancient word for oak is drais, which means tree. Zeus was said to send his oracles, knowledge through the rustling of oak trees. So they were seen as really sacred. The oak trees encourage more biodiversity than any other tree. 500 insects that are dependent on the oak, and about 2,500 organisms call the oak trees home. Bring in school children, bring in the community as well. And it's a connection that we really need to try and establish. They need to be part of nature, they need to be part of the solution. It's a really powerful one.
We have to be the change that we would like to see, and to remind people that this planet is our home.
Into today's top 5 moments, kicking off with the big moment for Samuel Pupo, the rookie who's just having a magic run, got the big quarterfinal finish at Pipe, and today got his first victory over the goat.
Yeah, well, a bit of a pressure cooker heat all the way through to the end, and Sammy Pupo just surfing really well on his final wave. By far the best surfed wave of the heat, and well, anytime you get a win over the goat, it's a good win. And yeah, again, I'm pretty envious of that one, and the Brazilian storm really starting to layer up inside the restaurant when that final wave came through.
Well, that camera's given us some real highlight moments as well. Next up was Jadson Andre, who was overcoming a big, tough history competing against John Florence, who'd always put excellent numbers up against him, but he got one back today.
Always, and shocking to see John not get an excellent total, but Jadson's been doing that kind of stuff all week. Every free surf he's been a standout. It's really cool to see him do it in the competition.
Gabriel Medina continues his successful return, a solid finish. Back was against the wall for moments in this one, Rich, but no one handles the pressure moments like this guy.
Oh, he looks solid, doesn't he? And, well, some of that form and those power turns there, it's a bit of a warning sign for the rest of the competitors in the quarterfinals, because, well, Gabriel feels like he's starting to really warm up. And if he peaks tomorrow, whenever we get this contest underway again, well, we just might see a complete return to form.
Yeah, I think the field's been pretty wary of this guy's return ever since he made it clear. I think we were at the event in Margaret River, and he has been getting well and truly prepped. He got to Indonesia nice and early, and he just looks so sharp. Looks like he's lost no form. The same kind of form that saw him go to a third world title last year. Number 2, Kanoa Igarashi, really lighting up today, Rich, and had some of the best surfing that we saw.
Oh, yeah, and just have a look at some of these waves. And on the highlight reel, it does look like we had some really fun waves throughout the day, which we did. And Kanoa, we say it time and time again, this timing, the precision, and then the speed at which he does his turns off the top, that's his real weapon, and he brought it to the fore today, just driving off the bottom, slicing off the top, and getting the work done. And I think quarterfinals for him would have been like the lowest result that he would have been expecting coming into this event. He's there, now he can set his sights a little higher.
Yeah, on fire, and we've spoken about his history with this location. The only way was up. He's had a shocking run at G-Land in the past just as a Grom. But Matthew McGilvray owns the number 1 moment today with this solid effort on the backhand. It was the highest scoring ride of the day, Dim.
And look how smooth it was. Can you believe just how easily he did that? Massive moves back to back. Matty, he's silent assassin this week.
And liftoff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I felt at home right away in Cape Town. There's a really open quality in people who live by the ocean. The people here have a real sense of fun, of relaxation, lightness of touch. Everywhere you look, there's real style and originality, and I think it's hard not to get caught up in it. It's got amazing food, incredible aromas and color, all the things that make life rich. But I keep getting drawn back to the mountain. It's a unique and incredible thing to have a mountain like that right in the center of a city. I mean, up there you can really feel the vibrancy of this city and its people. I find it so inspiring.
World's best.
UFC strawweight champion.
Come with us. We're just getting started.
It's going to be so much fun, I promise you.
June 10th, 1967. In the Mideast, the six-day war between Israel and its Arab neighbors ends with a ceasefire mediated by the United Nations. During the war, Israel seized the Sinai Peninsula, the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, the Gaza Strip, and the Golan Heights. 1999, in Europe, Yugoslav troops leave the province of Kosovo, prompting NATO to suspend its punishing airstrikes after 78 days. 1935, Alcoholics Anonymous, the voluntary support group for recovering alcoholics, is founded in Akron, Ohio. 1922, Judy Garland, singer and actress, is born Frances Gumm in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Among her movie roles, The Wizard of Oz, Meet Me in St. Louis, and A Star is Born. And 2004, singer and pianist Ray Charles dies of liver disease at his home in Beverly Hills, California. Charles, who helped pioneer what became known as soul music, was 73. Today in history, June 10th, Ross Simpson, The Associated Press.
Welcome back in our studio, and in today's news,